In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets video for Saturday, March 23rd. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our March 23rd NBA bet slate that we got going on. Before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJustD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel at 2.39 thousand subscribers. The goal is 3K. How fast can we get there? Let's continue to push forward, and I'll keep giving you this content. All right. If you guys are already subscribed, you already know. Like and comment. That will help the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys are not subscribed, join the community that we are building in Patreon and in YouTube each and every day. It is climbing. All right. So I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate the support. And I'm just keep doing what I love doing. So right now we're gonna hop over to the Patreon, and I'm telling you, we are hot. We're red hot fire on day 2 of March Madness, blazing hot. All right. So we got Northwestern. They outright won. I had them to cover. Baylor won. Marquette won. We had a loss of New Mexico. That's fine. Yale outright beat Auburn. I gave you guys the plus 12.5, and I encourage you to take the upset. All right, sprinkle on the upset. It was such a big upset. You just needed a few dollars on it, and you would make your whole entire day. That one bet makes the whole entire day, maybe even week for some people. All right, it's all about bet management and unit size. Okay, and then we also had Colorado money line as well. We have some games we're waiting on. Nebraska didn't make it. Vermont, we'll see if they'll be able to cover, but we got more gems. We started red hot in March Madness on day 2. If you want to get these plays, if you want the future bet for March Madness as well, if you want to get prepared for the NFL draft that's coming up, we have MLB, all that's provided in that link down below. So get signed up now. First game up on Saturday, we have a Brooklyn Net and Knick battle. We got the New York battle here between the Nets and the Knicks. Nets are 26-44. For the Knicks, they are 41-28. And these guys are at home. The Knicks are at home in Madison Square Garden. Looking at the current game odds, you can get the Knicks on the money line at a minus 290, with the comeback on the Brooklyn Nets at a plus 240. For the current total right now, very low at 204.5, and the spread is at 7.5. All right, so this line opened up at 195. It has already jumped 9 points, and I think you guys should hop on this now. Take the over in this. I'm already giving away a play already. And then obviously the spread is at 7.5. Let's look at the injury report really quick. Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be probable for this game on Saturday, and for the Knicks, it's the same guys that's been out for a long time. OG Anunoby is going to be out for a long period of time. Julius Randle's going to be out for a long period of time. These two teams have already played twice. All right. So far, Knicks are sweeping the Nets in the first 2 meetings, and that was in Brooklyn. Now you get 2 meetings in Madison Square Garden. This is a perfect revenge opportunity. If we're looking at the total really quick, like I said take the over. The first game was a total of 223, and the second game was a total of 211. All right. So right now it's at 204.5. This is a bargain. Okay. Whoever got it at 195, that's a lock. That's a Christmas gift. So you can put $100 on that and expect that to cash. So take the over. I'm going to be going with the plus 7.5. Give me the value on the Brooklyn Nets. You got a team here that just already lost to this team twice in a row. And you got the Brooklyn Nets that's been playing tough. All right. We saw them play tough against New Orleans, against San Antonio, against Orlando. There's all been close games. And in that Milwaukee game was close. They had the Bucks sweating in that late into that fourth quarter, and then the Bucks pulled away. But hey, This was a very, very tough and rugged team here. They covered that spread in Milwaukee, and I believe they can cover the spread in New York, have a possibility to actually get a win as well. The Nets are on a 5-game losing streak. They are due for a win, and I like them for a cover here. Next game up, we have the Sacramento Kings, who are currently 40-29, going up against the Orlando Magic, 42-28. Looking at the current odds right now, you can get the Orlando Magic on the money line at a -190, with the comeback of the Kings at a +160. For the total is currently at 216.5, with the spread at a 4.5 on both sides. So this line has dropped with the total. It went from 224 and now it's at 216, and then the spread went up 1 point for Orlando. It went from 3.5 to 4.5. So they expect a lower scoring environment, but definitely Orlando to win here. Looking at the injury report, Kevin Huerter, he has a torn labrum. He's going to be out for a while, probably the rest of the season. Orlando Magic, we're waiting on news for Gary Harris. He's currently questionable. Looking at these two teams, Magic are on fire. All right. They are currently on a 5-game winning streak, and now they're home. They're on where they're the best in the league. It's ridiculous, their home record. They beat New Orleans, beat Charlotte, beat Toronto twice, beat Brooklyn. For the Kings, they are 3 out of the last 5 games that they won. Shocking loss to Washington on the road to 109-102. That one we did not see coming. And that was a poor performance from the Sacramento Kings. All right. These two teams have already played, and that was in January, and that went into double overtime. The Kings won by 3 points, and that total was 273. So super, super high total there. And now, as you can see, it opened at 224, bumped down to 216. That's telling me something there. They're not taking for granted the fact that went into double overtime. There's a lot of point padding in that type of scenario. So I can see why it was 224 and everyone was taking the under, because that particular game was a double overtime game. So my favorite play here, just looking at the numbers, is going to be the Magic money line. Love Magic money line. They are 16-3 as home favorites. That's an 84% hit rate. I'm not fading that. I got to keep playing. I tried fading it before and it bit me with the Pelicans. I can't do it. Can't do it. We're riding with the Magic, riding with this winning streak that they got right now of 5. Let's keep it going. Let's go to 6. Let's go to 7. Or however long it is. We're going to be on this until the wheels crack. All right. So give me money line for the Orlando Magic and give me the cover of the 4.5. That's 16-3. That's against the spread. That's not just winning. They're covering as well. So absolutely phenomenal from the Orlando Magic. And give me... the over-under stuff. Give me... I think they brought it down too much. 216. It should be at 220. They brought it down like 8 points. Stay away from the total. If I had to lean one or the other, I would go under. I would go under. All right. If I had to lean one or the other, I would go under. But my favorite plays are the money line Magic or covering that whole spread. Okay. Next matchup we got going on here is going to be a Southeast Division matchup. Charlotte Hornets, who are 17-52, going up against the Atlanta Hawks, who are 30-39. Looking at the current odds right now, you get the Hawks on the money line at a -450, with the comeback on the Hornets at a +340. The current total right now is at 214.5. And the spread is at a 9.5 on both sides. Okay. Looking for the injury report right now. Hornets. There's no one injured. They're completely healthy. They're missing some guys, but anyone that's active, there's no injuries. For the Atlanta Hawks, they are missing Onyeka Okongwu. He's going to be doubtful. Jalen Johnson's going to be out for a week. And that's pretty much it. Everyone else is out for the Atlanta Hawks, so they're going to be rolling with the same cast and crew that they did in the previous game, okay? So this is DeJounte Murray, this is Clint Capella, this is Bogdanovich, okay? For these two particular teams, both of them are struggling, losing 4 out of the last 5 games, and shockingly, they already played twice, and the Hornets beat the Hawks twice already. All right, the first was a total of 226. That was a 6-point win. And the second one was a total of 221. And that was a 23-point win by the Hornets. So that blows my mind there. Because Atlanta Hawks are the better team. So what we're going to be going with here, obviously, love the money line, minus 450, but let's go with some better value here. But the main play, Atlanta Hawks money line, and we're going to have to choose between the spread and the total. I like the over of 214. Like I said before, the 2 games prior were 226 and 221. Let's take that over of 214.5. And the spread, give me the spread of the Atlanta Hawks to cover the 9.5. Yeah, that could be shocking. Both of these teams can't cover. They're all under 500 covering spreads, okay? That's how bad the Atlanta Hawks are, and that's how bad the Charlotte Hornets are. But the thing is, when the Hornets finally win, or when the Hawks finally win, they tend to win by double digits. So the one win that they had in 5 games was against the Clippers. You wouldn't expect that. But guess what? They won by 17. Same thing with the Hornets. The Hornets, they beat Memphis, and guess what? They won by 12. So the double-digit wins tend to happen to these teams that don't usually get wins because they tend to go off and have very high shooting performances. So we're going to go with the spread of 9.5 for Atlanta, the over 214.5, and the money line. Next game we have up will be the Toronto Raptors, who are currently 23 and 47, going up against the Washington Wizards, who are 12 and 58. Both bottom feeders in the Eastern Conference here. Looking at the game odds, you can get the Wizards on the money line at a minus 210 with the comeback of the Toronto Raptors at a plus 180 on the money line. The current total is at 231.5, and the current spread is at 5.5 on both sides. All right, Toronto continues to be decimated by injuries. Gary Trent Jr. has been downgraded to out. Emmanuel Quickley is questionable, and DJ Carton is out. All right, so no RJ Barrett, possibly no Emmanuel Quickley, and definitely no Gary Trent Jr. So that hurts for Washington. Tyus Jones is out. Eugene is Unmariu. I don't even know how to say his last name. Eugene is out, and Jordan Poole is questionable. All right, so wait on news for Jordan Poole. He's going to be their 6th man coming off the bench, putting up some threes for the Washington Wizards. Could be a key in or out depending on which way it goes with his injury. All right, Toronto Raptors right now are on a 10-game losing streak. Let me say that again. The Toronto Raptors are on a 10-game losing streak, complete downward spiral. And for Washington, they suck as well. They just happen to get a win against Sacramento. Maybe you can say they're hot. Hopefully you can say they're hot, and hopefully they can come away with this win. It's a telltale sign here when we're looking at the previous 2 matchups. The Raptors have beaten the Wizards twice already. It was a 4-point win. That total was 218. And then in the second game was a 30-point blowout win of Washington, and that total was 234. All right. So looking at the total, we have a 231.5 total here. With all these guys out, I'm leaning towards the under in this particular matchup. All right. I don't think there's enough fluid offense and that's going to be available in this game to put up 230 plus. So I'm going to be going with the under in this particular game. If I'm choosing the money line, give me the Wizards to finally bounce back against the Raptors. I can't trust the Raptors right now. I can't trust the Wizards either, but the Raptors are on a whole nother level right now where nothing's going right at all. And would I be afraid? That'd be a little bit cocky. Stay away from that spread. Don't get cute and think you can trust the 5.5, and don't get cute and think, hey, Washington's going to cover, because these are 2 unworthy teams. All right. Just take the money line or take the under 231.5. Next game up, we have the Boston Celtics, who are currently 56 and 14, going against the Chicago Bulls in Chicago that are currently 34 and 36. Looking at the odds right now, you can get the Celtics on the money line at a minus 290, which is a pretty solid number. And the get back for the Bulls at a plus 240. at the current total is at a 221.5, and the spread is at a 7.5 on both sides. It opened up as an 8.5 and it was brought down to 7.5. So that line is a little bit fishy, a little bit. Boston's been like 9 to 10 plus point favorite in the majority of their games, even on the road. And now we see an 8.5 and it's going towards down. News for the injury for the Celtics: Tatum, Horford, Drew Holiday. We're all waiting on news about those guys. They're all questionable. That's why I give that link down below of RotoWire, or you can use RotoWorld so you can be up to date on injury news. So please follow that link so you can get an update report on the Celtics ins and outs. For the Chicago Bulls, Alex Caruso and Kobe White will be playing in this game. All right. Celtics right now, they're on an 8-game winning streak. They're blowing out everybody. It doesn't matter. The only close game was the previous game where it was against Milwaukee, and that was only a 3-point win in that one, but they still won. All right. The Bulls, on the other hand, they've won 3 out of the last 5 games, so a little bit hot here. Lost to the Rockets in Houston, where they're very strong. And in the season series right now, the Celtics are dominating the Bulls 2-0, and this is the third and final matchup. The first game against the Bulls and Celtics, that was a total of 221. That was a blowout. And the second game in Chicago, that was a total of 241, and that was a blowout. So this is the third and final matchup. We got a 2x revenge narrative here for the Chicago Bulls. Can they come through? This will be a huge upset on the weekend. The total right now is my favorite play. I would take the over 221.5. I think both of these offenses can put up enough points here to cover that spread. That's 7.5. I'm going to go with the points of the Chicago Bulls, okay? We're going to go against the grain here. We're going to go follow our tradition. We've seen a 2-game narrative. This is the third and final matchup. They begin blowing out by the Celtics over and over again. This is a spot where they can fight and play strong, hopefully stay throughout the entire game until the fourth quarter. Maybe they might give up the lead there, and then Boston squeaks out a win. I'm going to be going with that narrative. Give me the plus 7.5 for the Chicago Bulls. Give me the over 221.5 for the total, and I'll leave that money line alone. If you want to get crazy, leave the money line alone. We'll move on to next game up. We have a Northwest Division versus a Southwest Division here. Utah Jazz 29-41 going against the Houston Rockets, who are 34-35. Red hot Rockets, I would like to say as well. The Rockets on the money line at a minus 450 with the comeback of the Utah Jazz at a plus 340. Current total is 226.5, and the spread has ballooned up to 10.5. Opened up at 7.5, was bought up 3 additional points here. For the injury report, and this could be the reason why it was brought up. Jazz are decimated right now. No Lauri Markkanen, no Jordan Clarkson. Those are 2 major factors. Got your number 1 player and your 6th man that's going to be out. John Collins is questionable, and Omer Yurtseven is going to be questionable as well. For the Rockets, no injury report here. They have a clean bill of health. And the Rockets are on a 7-game winning streak, with the Jazz on a 4-game losing streak here. These 2 teams have played already once. That was a close win by the Rockets, and that total was 253. All right, so with the Rockets playing at home, I expect them to play tough defense. That's why they've been so strong at home. 24-11 at home. Very dominant. They cover the spread very well here. So we're going to go across the board. Give me the Houston Rockets minus 450 against this hampered Utah Jazz team. Give me the under 226.5 because I like the I like the Houston Rockets defense in this particular game against a Utah Jazz team that's going to be missing a lot of their scores. And I'll feel comfortable with a 9.5 spread. All right, I'll give me the 9.5 spread. I don't want to lose by that half a point. It happens, man. It happens. I feel comfortable if you go back to the original 7.5 or take that 9.5 I expect the Rockets to cover this number as well. Next game, we have the Phoenix Suns, who are 41-29, going up against the San Antonio Spurs, who are 15-54. Looking at the current spread right now, or the odds here, Phoenix Suns on the money line is a -425, with the comeback of the Spurs at a +320. The current total is at a 228.5, and the spread is at a 9.5 on both sides. Okay, this total opened up at a 231.5 and has been bought down to 228. I'm going to be agreeing with that movement as of right now. For the Phoenix Suns, the main guy is Jusuf Nurkic. He's going to be probable for this game against the San Antonio Spurs. Looking at the last 5 here, we have the Suns, who are 3 out of the last 5 as wins, and for the Spurs, they are 4 out of the last 5 as losses. All right. These two teams have already played, and these are 2 wins by the San Antonio Spurs. And now those first 2 games were in Phoenix. Now these last 2 games are in San Antonio. So that's a huge flip here. Sometimes you got a team that just has your number. This team is nowhere near as talented as you are, but they just have your number somehow, some way. The scheme that they're running. The Spurs is that team, man. The Spurs is that team. The first game here, that was a total of 229. That was the Spurs win. And then the second game there, that was a total of 253, and that was a Spurs win. This particular game here, we got the line ballooned up to 9.5 here. And as you can see up top, the Spurs look like they're not going to cover or not going to win against the Grizzlies. And this is the second game of a back-to-back. You already know I like the opposite to happen. So they lose in this Memphis game here, they're going to cover this spread against Phoenix. And this is at home. So give me the +9.5 for the San Antonio Spurs. Love the spread here. I expect them to cover in this game. They have the number of the Phoenix Suns. And give me the under 228.5 here in this particular. It's going to be a hard-fought game between these two teams that already played each other twice. So this is the third meeting, so they know what to expect here. If you want to get crazy with that money line, I can see it happening in this game. All right, I would sprinkle the +320 here in this game for the Spurs. All right, as well. Let's move on to the last game. Last but not least, we have the Denver Nuggets going up against the Portland Trailblazers here. Nuggets are 49-21. Portland Trailblazers are 19-50. As of right now, Portland Trailblazers, this would be the second game of a back-to-back. They are facing the Clippers as of right now. They're getting blown out by 13, but we'll see what happens in that second half if they're able to cover that spread or not. All right, so that's going to be up to judgment there. For the line as of right now, Denver Nuggets on the money line, -2,500. Obviously, we won't be touching that. That would be a huge favorite parlay type of deal that you would even touch that. Portland, on the other end, you can get them at a +1,100, but I doubt we'll be touching that. Total as of right now is not out. We're waiting on news for Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. That's why that total is not out right now. The spread is currently 15.5. All right. Spread is currently 15.5. So looking at the injury report, like I said, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, we have to wait on news with those 2 guys. All right. That's huge if both of those 2 guys are out, or if one of the 2 are out. That helps. Okay. The Portland Trailblazers. For the Trailblazers, Malcolm Brogdon's out for 2 weeks. Shaedon Sharpe is trying to get back into action. He's going to be out. And the main key guy here, if I'm even thinking about the Trailblazers covering this spread, I need DeAndre Ayton. All right. He missed the Clippers game. We have to wait on news if he's going to be in or out against Denver. If DeAndre Ayton is in the game, I feel better with going with Portland. They need their big men down low, especially if Jokic is in, and especially if Jokic is out. Then they can use DeAndre Ayton to dominate down low. All right. So definitely wait on information. Do not touch this unless you get a clear indicator about DeAndre Ayton and about Jokic and Murray. All right. So we'll just continue to break it down. Obviously, Nuggets are red hot. They won 4 of their last 5 games, and Trailblazers have been struggling. They lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Looking at these two teams, they already played 3 times already. This is the 4th and final matchup. The first game was 228. The second game was a total of 215, and the third game was a total of 239. We don't know the total as of right now, but going with the spread, they told you it's at 15 points, right? 15 and a half. The Nuggets beat them by 12. The Nuggets beat them by 9, and the Nuggets barely reached that 15. If you had 15 and a half, technically you would have covered. So they have not beaten the Portland Trailblazers this year at all by 15 and a half points. So that's telling me something right there as well. So wait on news. All right, I cannot give a selection out on this one. I need to wait on news on who's going to be in or out with Jokic, Murray, and DeAndre Ayton. So once that finally comes out, I'll be posting in that comment section down below of who I'm going to be leaning towards in this particular game. All right, or you could just wait and go to the Patreon. If you sign up for that Patreon, that link is provided down below. I'll have my selection there. All right. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This is the end of the video. You thought it was going to be more. There's no more. I'm sorry, but this is the end of it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Continue to comment down below. Let me know who are your plays for the Saturday slate. We got games from 1 all the way to 10 o'clock. So they're going to be running like it's the March Madness on Saturday, the NBA. So let me know in that comment section down below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right. Peace out, guys.